How's it going, guys? Johnny Dale back again with another episode of 49ers Playbook, the channel that's trying to answer the whys and hows of the game. In this episode, we're going to wrap up our review of the passing game in Week 11 versus the Arizona Cardinals. Still some good things to see, including Jimmy's third touchdown of the game, and also we're going to take a look at what happened on his second interception in the game. Overall, it was a fantastic game by him and our entire offense as they put up nearly 500 yards of offense and scored 30 points. If you haven't seen the previous two episodes, I'll have a link to those at the end of the video, so just stay tuned for that. Hopefully, after this video, I'll be able to get to at least a couple episodes covering the defense and then move on to preview the matchup versus the Packers this Sunday. But enough of all that, let's get into what you're really here for, the film. This first play is one that if you've seen my stuff for the past few years, you know this is my all-time favorite play. I don't know why, but I love it. It's Spider 2Y Banana. Of course, this is actually going to be Spider 2 X Banana, but let's take a look at it. First, we come out in 21 personnel and motion Dwelly across the formation to reveal man coverage. We then motion Bourne across. There's a little confusion there from Bourne, as he's running a shallow drag or shallow crossing route that's meant to run possible interference on Juszczyk's man defender. If you haven't seen John Gruden's whiteboard session with Marcus Mariota on Spider 2Y Banana, check it out. It's on YouTube. It's really great. But the spider refers to a slide away from the attack point by the line. The fullback is then going to look to attack the edge defender as if he's run blocking, and then he's out into the flat 2 to 3 yards. The running back then fills to block on the edge defender the fullback attacked. The banana refers to a corner route. Y banana is a tight end running that route, but this is X banana with Goodwin as the X receiver is going to be running the corner route. It's called banana because the corner route looks, well, like a banana. You're going to see the beauty of this play, and Jimmy puts the ball over the underneath defenders, and this would be a touchdown if it weren't for a really good play by the man defender on Goodwin. He peels off Goodwin just in time to make a tackle short of the goal line. But Spider 2 X Banana. What we'll see next is Jimmy Garoppolo's third touchdown of the game, and we finally have Kendrick Bourne hold on to a pass. As C-3PO said, "Thank the maker." We're going to come out in 21 personnel with 2 backs and 1 tight end. We're going to show an inside zone read fake. I can't show exactly what defense Arizona was in. It was zone of some kind, but they bite so hard on the run fake that I have no idea who was supposed to be where. Anywho, we're going to run a drive concept with Dwelly and Bourne. A drive concept is a shallow crossing route run by Dwelly and an in route run by Bourne. Most of the time with the drive concept, you see these routes flipped. You'll see the inside receiver run the deeper route, and that's really just more for timing. But with Dwelly's block and then release, it creates the timing you would normally have. It's a vertical stretch of the will linebacker. After the snap, you will see how the run fake completely fools all of Arizona's middle defender, and the outside corner is playing zone, so he doesn't play Bourne inside. From there, it's an easy pitch and catch for a touchdown to Bourne. This is a great example of how Arizona was completely selling out versus the run, and how Kyle Shanahan adjusted to it. You don't always have to be running the ball particularly well in a game for the play action to still work and be effective. And Kyle Shanahan keeps showing why he's one of the best play callers in the league. This next play, while not all that impressive from what it seems as a play, I want to take a moment and just talk about some things about quarterbacking. It's only an 11-yard gain, but there's a lot of nice things here. First, we'll talk about the scheme of this play. We come out in 21 personnel, and Arizona is going to come with another fire zone blitz with a 5-man rush. You're seeing this 5-man rush a lot in this game. I think this is how they were going to attack our run game. They were bringing their 5 on the line, on the attack, every play to shut the run down. So you have to be able to take the easy plays the defense is giving you. With a 3 deep and 3 underneath, and the underneath guy all the way inside the formation, you'll have short out routes open all day long. And that's what we get here. But now let's go back and look at the footwork and fundamentals of Jimmy Garoppolo. I haven't talked a lot about his footwork in depth before, but thought this was a great play to talk about that from. One thing we have to understand in a West Coast offense system is how timing is tied to a quarterback's footwork. It also shows when a quarterback has really good footwork and when they have really sloppy footwork, how much time and effort they put into being coached and learning things. You know, I was never a big fan of Colin Kaepernick as a quarterback. I know that might upset some people, but I can tell you it had nothing to do with politics or anything like that. Personally, I like pocket passers. It's just my belief that sustained, long-term NFL success is done by guys who get it done from the pocket. That's my belief. Not saying I'm right about it. You know, whatever your opinion is, that's great too. I don't want to get into that kind of an argument. But a huge part of being able to be successful from the pocket is going to be footwork, especially in a West Coast system. So what do we look for in footwork? First, one thing we look for is, do they have even spacing on their steps? And Jimmy's going to be taking a 5-step drop here. So the ball should be out in 5 steps. And a 5-step drop, you'll have 3 drop steps, a plant step, and then a throwing step. And you'll see his 3 drop steps are really good in their spacing. And then when a quarterback hits his plant step, you want to see them load the legs like a spring and then stay low. You don't want to see this QB bounce up and get up on his toes. They call it getting toesy. You don't want to see him getting toesy, bouncing up and down. He needs to stay low, and his plant step you should see him start to put himself in a position to throw if he's going to be throwing one way or the other. If he's going to be throwing to his left for a right arm QB, like on this play, his plant foot should be the one that allows him to open his hip up to the throwing side. Then his 5th step should be one where he points his toe to the target. I love that he does all of these things and the ball is out of his hands on the 5th step. There's no extra steps. There's no extra hitches. It's all in perfect timing with his read of the defense. He stays low and gets the ball out. That is perfect from a footwork standpoint. Then, as he's throwing, he has a nice high arm slot when he delivers the ball. All of these things show how much he has worked and received coaching on these things. And I'll just say this, we haven't had a quarterback here that has had footwork this nice in well over a decade. So it's really nice to see. You can tell that Jimmy works on all the things of quarterbacking. Well, not to end on a low note, but we'll take a look at Jimmy's 2nd interception of the game. And this will end us on a low note because I already covered the next drive in the game when we go in for the game winner. We come out in 11 personnel with 1 back and 1 tight end. We motion a receiver over into a bunch formation. That puts the tight end and the running back on the same side. Arizona has again sugared the A-gaps. What this does with the tight end and the running back on the same side, that makes your line shift predictable. Because they've sugared the gaps, we have to slide our line to the left, away from the tight end and running back because you have no blocking help to that side. So the center has to block the 3rd man on that side of the ball. That's important because Arizona is going to scheme pressure here. They're coming with another fire zone blitz. This time, they're going to bring Budda Baker off the edge. Baker does a perfect job of timing out the snap count to his rush. So he comes down so late that Jimmy can't make any adjustment to the protection to account for it. I think we were trying to run a sucker concept here with Mostert coming out on a drag/curl route over the middle and Dwelly running an in-route or post route. And Mostert is going to see the blitz, but Dwelly isn't. Dwelly needs to understand that when a quarterback is going to be under immediate pressure, he's going to be the hot route. The linebacker on the weak side who was sugaring the A-gap fakes a blitz to make sure he occupies the center and then looks to drop into his hook zone. With inside leverage and the hook defender dropping late, Dwelly is open. Notice Mostert breaks his route off looking for the hot throw. Dwelly does not. this is where they are simply not on the same page. If Dwelley sits his route down, this is going to be a completion. He has to understand his quarterback is going to be throwing it hot and help his quarterback out. This is one thing I know it took Vernon Davis a couple years to figure out. But while this looks really bad for Jimmy, I'm pretty sure this is actually on Dwelley. When your quarterback is getting a free rusher at him, you don't run your route like normal. You've got to understand you're the hot route on that play. He doesn't. He gets his head around late and throws a hand up to catch it and plays volleyball with the opposing team. Jimmy's making the correct read here and under immense pressure, but he needs his teammates to help him out here. Dwelley's a young player, and there's still some nuances of the game he's yet to figure out, but it's one I do believe he can figure out. And while these kinds of interceptions are really frustrating to see from your quarterback, some of them are just the result of having young players on the team. We have a number of young players who are adjusting to NFL schemes and NFL pressures and NFL things. And this is just another example of that you can't always put an interception on the quarterback. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this series looking at the passing game this past week. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get to some defense and then on to the Packers. Overall, this was a really great game to watch, and hopefully we'll see more of this going forward. If you'd like to support the channel, I have some ways to do that in the description below. You can also follow me on Twitter. And for those who've been able to support, it is so much appreciated. And you're the reason this channel has been able to grow and improve. If you haven't seen the rest of the videos in this series, I'll have the link here at the end so you can check those out as well. As always, I try and interact as best I can in the comment section, on Reddit, or at 49erswebzone.com in the forum in the Coaches Film Analysis thread. And as always, go Niners!